My first argument is quite what you expected, and that is religion hinders scientific endeavor. Even from the beginning, religion has opposed science, concocting childish arguments for every discovery ever made. It has dismissed evolution, the Big Bang Theory, and embryology as lies straight from the pit of hell. However, it seems to be much more reasonable that we're all descendants of Adam and Eve, who, by the way, were magically created, and it seems more reasonable that even until today, no one knows who wrote the Bible or the Quran. On the other hand, extraterrestrial life has been totally denied because we are the only civilization ever created, or that's what religion wants us to believe. You cannot expect people to just believe that in a continuous expanding universe, we are alone. Science is starting to answer all of the big questions. Questions like, how did we get here? Where did we come from? Where are we going? Have been with us for our entire existence, and we are finally reaching a point in our development where we are beginning to be able to address them. Even by looking in the past, we can see how religion has hindered scientific progress. When Galileo Galilei held a theory that Earth revolved around the sun, a theory now known to be true, the Church disapproved of this theory because of the Holy Scriptures that state that the Earth is at the center, not the sun. As the contents of the Bible were taken literally, the publishing of Galileo's book proved to the Church that Copernicus and Galileo were sinners. They preached through their writing that the Bible was wrong, but all they got in return was banishing, and their right to ever write again was revoked.
If I might interject in that as well, I think this kind of dichotomy between science and religion is incredibly anachronistic from the 19th century. I think any history student should be able to tell you this. As Europe became more secular, atheists became a bit more emboldened and literally wrote history books rewriting history on the fact the Dark Ages wasn't because of Christianity. The Western Roman Empire fell. It was a Christian empire. It was advanced. It fell. German barbarians took over, which is probably where most people, Europeans, are descended from now today. And they had to be taught from the ground up, the basics, by the remnant Catholic Church, which then, after encountering the Islamic civilization, which was a religious civilization, led to the first universities being built by, finish the sentence, the Catholic Church, building the first universities in Europe to actually teach people the new sciences. And as I said, Galileo, the book he was writing, looking at the geocentric theory and comparing it to the other theories, whether it's the sun-centered or is it earth-centered, that book was commissioned and patroned by the Pope, who was an avid patron of science.
Yeah, but after he realized that he was right, because first he was told...
No, because the story is, well, we know what the actual situation was. The Galileo was told by the Pope, explain both sides fairly, equally. And in it, he portrayed the person who believed that the sun orbits the earth. He called that person Simplicio in the book, which means stupid, simpleton. And that's why he was basically censored. And he wasn't burnt at the stake or whipped or whatever. He was told to stay at home and do penance, where you do, Hail Marys and all this kind of stuff. Quite a few thousand of them. That was it. That is literally what happened to Galileo. And as for the Big Bang, I mean, that is even more shocking that you mentioned what you said, because the person who posited the Big Bang, the person who put a credible formula to explain why we have redshift, was Georges Lemaitre, a Belgian priest, of which Einstein didn't like his idea. They wanted, the majority of scientists, of which Einstein was one of them, believed in the steady state theory, that the universe had always been the way it was for eternity. It was Georges Lemaitre, a Belgian Catholic priest, who said, no, I think my formula explains the situation better. And the word Big Bang was actually a pejorative term by the scientists of the steady state theory to say, what is this theory they talk about Big Bang? And then it stuck.
Fred Hoyle.
Right? So in that sense, the more, you could say, secular-minded of the scientists were actually an obstacle that had to be overcome by the religious-minded scientists. But no one knows this. And so that's what I'm saying, your history, if you don't mind me saying, needs to be checked before you say it, because these are common tropes which are actually just not true, and any history student could tell you that these things are fundamentally not the case.